By the way, before we get to the phones, a quick question. Why were Obama's shoes a half size too small? Anyway, we're supposed to conclude from that the guy was so poor and had so little and was just barely surviving, and he had to have his most prized possession was a coffee table from a garbage dumpster and his shoes that were a half size too small. Oh, didn't care about material things. Down with us. So he goes in to buy a pair of shoes and buys them a half size too small because he doesn't care to buy a pair that fit. No, whoa. Well, you're telling me that he didn't buy the shoes, he had to get those out of the dumpster too? Obama was working for a law firm when he started dating Michelle. He wasn't wearing shoes a half size too small when he was dating Michelle Obama. He's working at a law firm. I don't care. The point is, what the tugging at our heartstring. Obama did not grow up in poverty. His grandmother, the typical white woman, worked in a bank. Don't give me this down with the struggle business. He wasn't down with the struggle. That's the whole point. If you go back to 2008, the Democrats were wringing their hands because he wasn't authentically black. That's the reason the Reverend Sharp had a problem with him, and they wrote the column in the LA Times of the Magic Negro. He wasn't down with the struggle. He doesn't have slave blood. You know all that. You're the official Obama criticizer. What are you telling me? That's my point. They revised the story. It's a new campaign. It's time for a new story. Obama was raised by a banker. Obama went to the top private school in Hawaii. It had swimming pools, tennis courts. It had photo studios. They both attended elite schools. Michelle went to Whitney Young. Whitney Young was a public magnet school for Chicago's upper class. That's where Michelle went to school. Barack went to Punahou, which is the private prep school for the top strata of Hawaii society. And then they were both accepted to Ivy League schools despite having less than stellar credentials. You might say that they were affirmative action admissions. But they didn't come from poverty. So why is he wearing shoes a half size too small? Does he not like to cut his toenails? What is the explanation? See, these are the things that I ask myself when I listen to this stuff. And don't get on. Michelle has admitted that she was an affirmative action admission at Princeton. You people don't. They're trying to whip me up into a frenzy on the other side of the glass in there, and I'm not falling for it. Did anybody catch, by the way, when she presents her family history and Obama's? What's obvious about it? They both grew up in normal, two-parent American homes. Healthy, mom and dad, two-parent American families. That's something that doesn't happen enough in this country anymore. There are way too many single-parent homes out there. These two do not have, contrary to what they are attempting to accomplish here, they do not have a past that is replete with a lot in common with modern-day poor people, modern-day lower-middle-class people. They don't have a lot in common. Their family upbringing and family structure was quite normal. Kind of stuff that television shows in the 50s were made about, to be quite honest with you. Black and white TV days, exactly. Now, Michelle's parents never were divorced. Barack's were, but still there was always a father there somewhere. There was a two-parent, and the upbringing was, solid middle class. The expectations, go to college, go to school, make it happen. They did it. Neither of those two thought they weren't going to live past age 21, for example, which is what I hear is common in poor neighborhoods today. But I'll share with you some other thoughts that I had. By the way, I mispronounced the name of the highfalutin school. It's Punahou. I think I said Punahou. It's Punahou in Hawaii. But it is for the upper crust out there. That's the place. That's the Sidwell Friends. It's where everybody wants their kids to get into. Parents work as hard there as anywhere else to get their kids into that school. That's where Obama went. I don't know if he had a voucher to get in there or not. I don't know what the finances were. His mother worked at a bank and was not nearly as bad off as Michelle. What was this? Glass ceiling, people she'd trained got promoted above her. Yeah, let's yank the heartstrings again. Now, based on Michelle's speech last night, I'm supposed to know now that the Obamas don't care about material possessions. She said that. Despite the cost of her wardrobe, despite the lavish parties, despite the Hollywood fundraisers, and despite, she said she traveled this country. I said, well, what about the world? How about all these separate vacations that you take, madam? With the separate airplane and a traveling party of 35 or 40 that you're not paying for. And you want us to believe that you don't care about material things? Sorry, I didn't swallow that one. I was unable to forget these lavish vacations as I was listening to this hard scrabble story last night. Now, I was told that I'm supposed to accept and believe that they are caring people. And you would too. Particularly after the world found out about it. If the world found out that you are a multiple millionaire and your brother's living in a hut, you don't do anything about it. Your wife goes out and gives a speech to the nation telling us that he cares. Asking us to believe a lot. And as I said, I was curious why she felt the need to reintroduce herself and her father and her husband. I was asking myself last night, did the past 4 years not happen? Do we not know that she's got a garden? Do we not know that she wants to impact the food in the grocery store? Are we supposed to judge her husband on his composite biography and their dates and the car and the dumpster diving coffee table? Not the unemployment? Not the underemployment, not the deficit, not the 47 million people on food stamps, not the $4,000 annual drop in median family income. That doesn't matter. We're supposed to support this guy because he cares, and he picked his wife up in a car with a hole in the door and dumpster dove for a coffee table. His most prized possession, his shoes are half size too small. That stuff doesn't matter to me. And there was no amount, nothing she could say last night that would make that matter to me. 23 million Americans out of work matters to me. Economic malaise collapse, that matters to me.